everybody. This is Melissa. I'm the Improv Sophisticate. Good morning to you. We are here to talk. Hard to put that down without taking a sip. We're here to talk about improv and life. Just kind of life in the filter of an improviser, spirituality, the pursuit of happiness. And I think being an improviser is something that is just a wonderful thing to do in your life, even if it's just for a little while, just to give you a perspective of, excuse me, of like living life without preconceived notions, living life without having to hold on to your own shit against the flow of what maybe somebody else wants to do. Living your life with more freedom and more fun and more spontaneity and all that good stuff. All right, so today I want to talk about something in particular. The subject is, I think I actually already started to trickle it into me just that last minute introducing this subject. Basically, I want to talk about preconceived notions, and I want to talk about expectations and when they don't go the way we want them to in life and on stage. So this is something that I think a lot of people already understand. So I'm not going to be all mamby-pamby and talk on a very basic level about obviously if you're in a scene and it's an improv scene, you don't want to push your own agenda for the scene. Now this is different. God, I don't want to go here, but I have to because I know there's people that are really into like the annoyance style and holding on to your shit. That is different. Holding on to your shit is holding on to who you are, and that's great in life too. It's like you don't or what you've done or what's already been laid out, but you don't hold on to your idea about something that hasn't happened yet. That is a mistake. If there are some people that teach that, then more power to you, whatever. But that's not what I'm about. When I show up in an improv scene, maybe I already was an old lady yesterday. What's going on that I'm always an old lady? Okay, I'm a Christmas elf. And I'm a Christmas elf, and I live in a very optimistic point of view, and everything makes me happy. So I'm like, I'm a Christmas elf. So I come into the scene, and I'm already thinking, I'm a Christmas elf, and I'm like, oh my God, look, Santa's going to be here soon. Now, if I walk out on the stage, it's a blank stage. There is another human being here. Why did they look like the devil or the bunny? Hello, there's another person on stage with me, and I'm on the stage, and I come out, and all I say is, Santa's going to be here soon. This person may go, oh, okay, that's my daughter, and it's Christmas morning, and that's my stepdaughter, and I hate her. Now, that is juice right there. So if this person's line indicates that, that's what we're doing now. I'm not going to keep on like as if it's some fucking short form guessing game. Just keep going, but I'm wearing a green hat. And then, my stepmom might be like, yeah, take it off. You're grounded. And then I might be like, but I just made a bunch of toys this morning in my workshop. And, I could do that only till a certain level. But at some point, one of us is going to get on board with the other person's idea. So if I'm presenting all that stuff, it is fun. I get it that you could continue to play with it. I could be her stepdaughter, and I could be wearing a green hat. And I could have just made, toys that morning. That's super fun. That is all like improv stuff. And the more, I think in that frame of mind of like the more you bring, then you can just, to stick with the Christmas analogy, you bring your improv satchel and you've opened it up and you just start pulling shit out. And as long as it's working, you just keep pulling shit out of that satchel. But you don't come to a place of disagreement where suddenly she's like, all right, you're my stepdaughter. I'm not a ventriloquist. In my mind, I could just close my mouth and have a voice come out from here. can't really do that. But, you know, she's like, you're my daughter, and I hate you, and I never wanted to marry your stupid father anyway. He was just rich. And, you know, she goes into like a diatribe, a fucking monologue, and lays out a bunch of shit. I'm not going to then have my next line be like, I'm not your stepdaughter. I'm a Christmas elf and you're stupid. Now we've like completely lost our way and we're not on board. And she's like, yeah, you are. I said you were early in the scene. Well, I don't care. I don't care about your scene work, fucking scene partner. You know? I hope you enjoyed my puppet show. I did. Anyway, I started off with talking about improv scene work, which is obvious. I mean, I think it's obvious. But, you know, obviously you could be like you were still, you know, and at night I sneak out and I'm really a Christmas elf. If you really want to stick with that, as long as you're not being mean-spirited and the audience isn't going like, that's just some improv asshole holding on to their shit. You know, if it's still folding in and it's working in, more power to you. That's awesome. But I want to talk about real life for a moment. And it's very similar. When I have an idea of something that I want to do, me, Melissa Sorrentino, this spread right here, I have a really hard time letting go of what I planned to do. I have very strong perseverance. I am like the unsinkable Molly Brown when it comes to me wanting to do something. And it kind of comes from like a place of optimism. I'm not like a dick about it, but anytime like the universe is telling me that doesn't work, I'm like, why doesn't it work? Let's just find a way to make it work. Well, that doesn't work. Well, let's tweak here and then it'll work. Let's tweak there and then it'll work. I need to learn a lesson about dropping my shit when it's going too far. When there's ease, when it's in flow, that's all good. But I run into walls and I will push a good 50% past the wall before I'll quit anything. That's maybe an exaggeration on the small side. It might be more like 500%. Now, you know, my relationship with my husband was very, very, like time to go compared to what a lot of people would do. And I probably stayed in it like 6 to 8 years past its expiration date. And so did he, because we're very similar in that way, which is, you know, nice that we're both that way and we both believed in marriage and all that sort of thing. But, you know, sometimes, what does Joyce Meyer say? If the horse has been dead 10 years, it's time to get off the horse. So, last night I was playing with tech with this. I have right now the setup I have is way better than what I had yesterday. I was trying to be fancy. I was trying to like really do something in my house that would still look nice and I wouldn't have to take it down, but whatever, it's not important. The point is, I kind of stopped swimming upstream, and today I decided to just stick with something very simple. Instead of trying to do it on my laptop again, which was dropping frames, I'm doing it on my phone right now. I didn't do it on the camera on the back, I'm doing it on camera on the front, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep farting around with tech until I have something that I like as a setup. But in the meantime, I am still committed to doing these videos. So I want to keep on doing them in a, you know, routine fashion. And I'm going to let the tech catch up with me while I'm still moving forward with what I want to do. But last night is what I want to talk about. I was messing around with that laptop like you would not believe. And I can't tell you how many times I had an internal note to self, it's time to drop this. It's time to drop this. It's time to drop this. Abort mission. Abort mission. And if you're in scenes and you find yourself in an improv scene, sometimes it's hard for me to come back to the perspective of somebody that's only been doing it for like 5 years. You know, I'm not talking like newbies. I'm talking about, you know, but people that haven't really been doing it for like 20 years. I have a really hard time even in that little exercise we were just doing, which I was just like improvising. You know, all this is just improvising. I I was having a hard time really hitting a wall and not finding a way around the wall, under the wall, over the wall, because it's just like I'm so just like greased. The Christians call it anointed. I'm kind of anointed for that, and it's really it's almost more difficult for me to get caught in a quagmire than to get out of the quagmire. That's just the way that it becomes, and you'll get that way too, trust me. But when you're in that place where you're in a scene, in an improv scene, and they're like, really listen. You have little voices. Maybe it's your teacher's voice. Maybe it's something you read, like a little bit of like, text drifts off the page and goes around across your mind while you're in a scene. Maybe you just have an instinct, like that gut thing that happens. Any of those. But I call them, like in life, I call that like the Holy Spirit. I happen to believe that that's like a prompting of the Holy Spirit. If you're into New Age stuff, you're probably like, you're finding contrast in the flow, or you hear, you see, you vibe where the flow is going. And if you're going this way, it's like shoving you. Any of those little instincts that come up, I want you to really start to listen to those, and especially in these disposable classes that we talked about, or a disposable scene, a rehearsal, whatever, when you're just farting around, I want you to really immediately adjust to that little voice inside. Like last night, I had that voice that was like, abort mission, abort mission. And I think that I think that the group mind between me and my I had my PC, I had my laptop, I had my phone, and I had my tablet, my little device team. I think we all kind of concurred that there was no point continuing to swim upstream with this laptop until I download a different software program, or maybe upgrade and buy a new whole system or whatever. But it was like, why are you fighting this? The phone is the newest thing that I own, and it's really got a lot of bells and whistles that the other stuff can't do. It's faster, it's more efficient, it works. And it's like, why are you fighting this? And the little voice inside my head, this was maybe at like 11 o'clock, that I finally, a little voice cropped up and went, why are you fighting this? And the immediate answer, from whatever voice in my head said, why are you fighting this? And the other voice in my head was like, because this is what I was going to do tonight. And I was like, whoa, okay. If the only reason I'm still doing it is because I was gonna do it, that is not a valid reason. And I was like, pick that up, drop that into improv. What the fuck, would you do that in a scene? Absolutely, I would never do that in a scene. Maybe back in the day before I knew better, or before I had practiced better. But no, I would never be like, the core reason I am maintaining that I'm a Christmas elf is because that's what I was going to do. Going to do means nothing. Going to do does not exist. Let's just get very spiritual for a moment. The present is all that exists. The past, where is the past? Where's the past? It's gone. The future, where's the future? I don't see the future. That's because it doesn't exist. The future doesn't get to exist until the present folds into that, until this moment becomes this moment. It doesn't exist. All that exists is the present. Now, of course, what's been laid out in your scene work already, we've established there's a table here. We've established there's people talking at the table. We know we're eating spaghetti because it's been brought up in the scene. We know that it's cold because the heater's broken. We brought that up in the scene. Whatever information's been brought up in the scene now exists within the scene that you're in. But anything that hasn't been brought up yet is subject to change. Anything that's brought up in the past is subject to be rearranged, somehow edited. Edit is it could be edited, but there could be a reveal of information. There could be some sort of merging of some previous facts that all of a sudden they're a little bit different. I'm going too far with this. I really think I've made my point. What I'm trying to say is just basically, when we have expectations, if the expectation itself becomes more valuable than the moment that we're in or than our ultimate goal, it can be dropped like it's nothing, like an old Kleenex that you already blew your nose in and you dropped, or you didn't need the Kleenex because you went and reached for it and then you were like, I don't need that Kleenex. I suddenly don't have to sneeze anymore. You know, things change. So allow for the moment to just really listen and let those promptings come up in you. And then, you know, if you're like, I'm aborting this, and now I really do want to sink my teeth into this teenage daughter scene with the mom or the kid or whatever. I really do want to embrace what my scene partner's saying and have them embrace what I'm saying. And now we've got like a meaty scene. And instead of me fighting to be a Christmas elf, I'm unfighting to just, you know, take the nasty plunge into the scene with my partner and then just flow through that. That's what I want to say today. I hope this made sense. I am really excited about these videos, and I encourage you guys to listen to those inner promptings and just quickly adhere to them, just that fast, so that even you don't even have to get the full prompting. Abort mission? Yep. Okay. Aborting mission. Done with this video. Bye.